Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build model kit and to hang out with you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the scythe emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw those back at me. Thank you to Harold for hosting the stream. I always appreciate that. Hitting the old soundboard. Mr. Bob is here. We're already off to a great start with that. Hello, Mr. Bob. Dude wants his rug. Ig is here. Hell yeah. Lastbrook. Damn. Harold. Aristophan is here. Aristophan let me know that they are here. Hell yeah. This is already a stellar crew. We already got a bunch of people watching at the beginning of the stream, this early in the beginning of the stream. That's rad. As you know, I am. A thing that is bad about me is I am somewhat obsessed with my numbers. It's not great. I wish I wasn't. But when the numbers are good, they're good. Again, if there were 3 people watching. Last night, most of my Hearthstone stream, thank you for everybody who joined in, even for some of it, most of my stream last night was for like 5 to 7 people. And that's okay. If we don't crack 20 viewers today, that's okay. I will say, I get reports from stuff from Streamlabs, from Twitch, and I am bummed that there are a lot of people that don't watch for that long, and I wish they would stick around for a while longer. It's okay that they don't, but I wish, for them. I wish it for them, right? Because we're a good time, and I want them to be part of a good time. I'm so happy. The 160p option is back and I can watch again rather than doing audio only. Well, Ig, I got to admit, I'm a weird podcast. So I'm glad you're able to watch the 160p option. I hope you enjoy the detail that we get into here. But I'm glad you're not listening to the audio stream. That's rad. I'm glad that you're able to stream with that option. I do send out a 720p signal because I pay a good amount of money for good internet so that I'm able to stream on the high end. But I'm glad you're able to take in the low end. We're going to wait a minute or two to see if a few more folks want to join us before we get into building. I said in the pre-show, I didn't do vocal warm-ups today. I've been trying to do vocal warm-ups because I am not often these days. I find myself not using my instrument as much as I would previously. I don't have a roommate right now, and I was in 0 Zoom calls today. I had some emails and back and forth and all of that, but I didn't talk to anyone today. And so, it's only going to be 2 hours, but I am slightly projecting in the room, and I'm going to be talking pretty consistently for those 2 hours. There's not a lot of silence in model kit building or solo model kit building, as it were. A moment or here and there, let me breathe. But for the most part, I'm just going to keep talking. So, I've been trying to do vocal exercises, trying to warm up the instrument, as they say. But yeah, it's a different beast. I often would have several hours of communication in some form or another before I get into streaming. But also, thanks everybody that's here tonight. Reminder, if you are a subscriber, use your Twitch Prime coin to subscribe. You have to manually renew that, and you hit the notification when you do that. If you're already paying $5 a month from some other way, also, hey, hit that notification button. Let the people know that you've renewed. Let me know so we can thank you properly. It means a lot. If you aren't a subscriber, consider becoming one. Also, reminder that gift subbing and bits and coins, always appreciated. All the things are great. Having you here is also great. I'm going to retweet that I'm getting my build on, and then we'll go live. This Vigna Zira is okay. It's just the Vigna Gina 2, really. RE100. I'm looking at that. Bluefin wants me to pre-order some new stuff. To which I say, I spent over $100 on you, Bluefin. I'm good for now. Bandai Premium stuff. I got what I wanted, and I did. Oh, Ink just used the redeemed for the gong. If you haven't seen this on the stream, if you missed it, when my roommate moved out, I found this box that they left behind, and it is a decorative gong. And now I own a decorative gong. It joins the soundboard with me being wacky. That Sniper GM is kind of tempting. Lastbrook, do not get me wrong. They're all tempting, but I did spend enough money on model kits that I can't build right now because they have not arrived. Um, but it is tempting. You're not wrong. Uh, yeah, I love the gong too. I'm thrilled to have the gong. Okay. So did I tweet out? Did I retweet myself? I did. Uh, and all right, time to go to the overhead. Freedom. Hey, it's the Freedom Gundam. This is the Freedom. It's a 2.0 master grade. You can see right there. We have completed basically the upper body. We're going to work on the waist. Now, oftentimes in a kit, you're going to start. You'll do the chest, you'll do the head, you'll do the arms, and then you'll jump down and do the feet and the legs, and then the waist last. This kit says no. We're going to build the waist next. And to which I say, okay, that's what you want to do. I will say this, but this kit before we push it aside for a second. The gold eye stickers are great. Can you maybe see that? No, it's hard to see. Please trust me when I tell you that okay, you can kind of see there that this gold sticker for the eyes is really good. It's really solid. It really shines in the light. It's probably because I have studio lights on right now, but I did notice that, and I didn't notice it when I was applying the sticker because I was nervous about applying it. But now that I had it together, it looks good. All right, so we're gonna work on the waist. We'll put this here together. I hope you're doing. I hope you're doing. Um, I'm happy to have you here on the stream, hanging out. Last night I did play Hearthstone on the stream, and that was a fun time. It has been a hot minute since I played that on a stream, a couple weeks, and it was fun to do. With the new expansion out, playing some new decks, having a good time. Played more of my Evolve deck today, just for funsies. Had a good time with that. Trying to rank up, trying to get into platinum on Wild. See how I do there. But yeah, that was fun. I'm doing a fresh install of Fallout 4, like completely deleting everything off my computer. Install and trying to, like, the nice thing is that since I use Nexus for my mods and use the Vortex, I was able to find all of the mods I was using and then delete some that I wasn't really actually using. But I want to do a fresh install and give it a proper pack because I like starting from scratch with the alternate start me up and just doing whatever. And two, I mostly find it fun to just I hit a certain point when I'm playing Fallout 4 where I don't want to play anymore because the story makes me do things I don't want to do. And so I just do, basically it's like, all right, well, I've hit the farthest I can do with the railroad, and I've done a lot with the Minutemen, and I've done almost nothing with the Brotherhood of Steel. And okay, now my next thing is I have to go and fucking meet my son. No thanks, don't want to do that. And then I just fuck around. Mr. Bob says, hey, Pat, I just doubled my Switch storage so I can get more quarantine games. Heck yeah, Mr. Bob, get those games, play those games, enjoy those games, stay safe. But yeah, enjoy those games, my friends. Heck yeah. I'm like, I am starting once again, I find myself starting another playthrough of Fallout because that is, I guess, what I do is I play Fallout 4 a lot for a certain amount. And I unlock things. I play the DLCs quite a bit. I didn't in this last playthrough. Um, and I just use a lot of mods to make weird, cool settlements. I've shown them off. I have on my YouTube. If you want to check out my YouTube, I did a whole thing looking at mods for Let Pat Play, which was a series I did for a while there, where I was playing, where I was trying to do different games every week, and I played. I showed off a lot of mods I did in Fallout and showed the weird things I do there. And the latest one is a jukebox that makes everyone dance. That's just nonsense. It's just fun to have a jukebox in a settlement and then make my companions and settlers dance a bunch for no reason. Why not? My friend is doing his first F4 playthrough, and I keep telling him to avoid the main story. I mean, so the thing is, like, it depends on the route you want to go. Like, if you want to join the Institute, the main storyline is kind of interesting. If that's your goal, it's like, oh, I got here, I met my son. I guess this is the way I'm going. But like, the side quest stuff is where it's at. Outside of like doing stuff, picking good companions, doing stuff with your companions. Uh, you know, uh, I'm always a big proponent of Piper and Nick Valentine as your mains, your friends. Uh, I have played routes where I got Curie very early, which is an interesting way to play the game because so the thing that I find the most fascinating is Curie is really into the Brotherhood of Steel, even though they definitely, if they knew that she was uh, who she is, they would want to kill her. And that's kind of interesting that she's like, this Brotherhood of Steel people seem to know what they're doing. We should help them. And you're like, no, not really. No, not really, Curie. Uh, they don't know that you're in a synth body, that you're an artificial intelligence that was transferred into a synth body. I think they would hate you. Um, yeah. I don't know. I'm fun with it. Hey, tracking down Eddie Winter with Nick Valentine so you can go kill Eddie Winter. Hell yeah, I'm always up for that. Track down that dude. A few other things that I'm like, yeah, this is fun. You know, getting the mechanist stuff early so that you can kind of play it along with the main game. That's fun. There's a bunch of stuff in that I would that I enjoy doing when I play Fallout 4, but at a certain point it is a slog. And of course, there's always the memory den, aka the worst part of Fallout 4, and possibly the worst thing in Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 is slowly going through the memory den when you know what you need to do next anyway. It is it's not great. It's just not great. There's a lot better parts of that game. It's just slow and not great. I don't know. Honestly, I come to Fallout 4 for the pretty decent companions and the settlement building. The settlement building is fun, and using mods to make things easier and weirder. Get myself a mostly silent nonsense companion that you just run into. Have you done a second playthrough of Outer Worlds? No, I haven't. I played Outer Worlds. I liked Outer Worlds. I honestly haven't really thought about Outer Worlds since, which is weird because I did like it. It was good. I had a good time playing it. I think I got maybe lucky. I just happened to pick like good shit while playing it, and like I had a good time with it. Um, I also like there was a good size patch that came out right before I started playing that fixed some stuff that people had some problems with. So I benefited from that, not playing it immediately, waiting a little while. But yeah, I haven't done a Worlds playthrough. Um, it doesn't feel the same to me. Like, it is in many ways space Fallout. But in a lot of ways, it's space. Hmm. What would it be? What would I compare it to more to? I don't know. It's a lot more centered around the companions. Yes, you're not wrong. So yeah, maybe it's more Space Dragon Age, you know. But it is very companion focused, and I do appreciate that as someone that companions make or break the story, which is what part of the reason why Fallout New Vegas is my favorite Fallout because uh, there are several companions that are incredible in that game, and one or two that are, not great. Also, the idea that you can have a dog or a robot and your companion without it being a fucking big deal just rules. I just love that. Just like, hey, I'm with my Brotherhood of Steel friend and our dog friend as well. Or our robot friend. Either one. Either way, I'm having a good time. BZ Chanboy is now following. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. Welcome. Welcome. You're now in the Baer Cave watching some model kit building and conversations about any number of things. See. Of course, later in the second hour, we will be talking about anime because that is what we do here, and there's new anime out this season. Um, I'll talk about this in this segment because I don't really have a lot to say because I haven't been experiencing outdoor life or much things lately. So it's way easier for me to just talk about other things right now. Um, so in the anime I will talk about, uh, I won't be talking about a show that I thought was supposed to wrap up today. Episode 13 of Infinite Dendrogram was supposed to air today and is postponed, most likely because a lot of the action was outsourced to a Chinese animation studio. So they had a delay like a couple weeks ago. They've had 2 delays on this show. And look, I am not here. I am not here to say they shouldn't be delayed and they should fucking put out the episode or anything like that. I fucking get it. Shows that are being delayed, of course. Shows that are taking breaks, of course. Movies that are indefinitely postponed because they're movies and what's a movie theater? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Great. That is not where my criticism comes from. My criticism, my issue right now is that I want Infinite Dendrogram to be over because it's not that I'm looking forward to the episode in any way, shape, or form. I just want to be done with it. It is a show that in a busier season I would not have watched at all. I have said this before. I did not particularly love the show. It's just that I literally didn't have anything that came out on Thursdays a month ago, and so I watched it. And it's a 13 episodes, which is one too many episodes for what is, as I said, not great. But I've watched 12 of them. I kept watching when in episode 9, 8, 9, when they introduced that, when they just dropped the knowledge that a character that we have seen for weeks and weeks in the show is the son of Sherlock Holmes. One of the minor characters is this who had, and up to that point, never used deductive reasoning in their abilities, unveil that they apparently have that ability, and then it is basically heavily implied that they're the son of Sherlock Holmes in the year 2043. The fucking fuck, man. Uh, and then the last episode, we knew it was coming, but the older brother, who's very good at the game, who was hiding his identity, reveals that he is, very good at the game and is pretty awesome. And the fight scenes in episode 12 were good. Um, don't get me wrong. It'll be interesting to see how it wraps up, where it wraps up. We're probably in for like another character monologue from a character that up to this point has not mattered at all. It's just, as I said, I will give it credit for this. There are many, many shows out there with far worse animation for their fight scenes. So I will give them credit for that. That the fighting, which is heavily CG, is still sharp and looks good. And you cannot say that about some shows that their action is just like, I'm looking at you, Ari Fuerta. Your terrible, terrible looking action. So this one, like, at least it looks. That sounds insane. Yeah. So Infinite Dendrogram, the premise, it's one of those like MMORPG video game anime shows. Like, it's a fake video game. Everyone's playing inside this video game. It's not Sword Art Online where they're trapped in it. But the tagline of the video game is that anything is possible, so you can play however you want. And that just means they could just mash up a bunch of shit. Like, there's a guy in a bear costume that has a machine gun. And then there's a guy that rides a Pegasus. And then there's a guy that controls a succubus that charms people. And there's a dude in a mech that appears to be made out of ice. And it's all this shit. And it doesn't do any of it well. But like I said, it's almost over. And I've been watching it because the winter anime season was a wet fart. And I needed some shows to watch to talk to all y'all about. Like, we are in a beautiful position right now where if a show does not interest me and I did not like the first episode, I'm not going to watch it. Glipnir could turn out to be awesome, but that first episode made me feel very gross and bad and not want to watch it. And there's so much good anime right now. Well, pull back, rewind that. There's so much anime right now that I can be a little choosy about it. Right now, we're only 2 weeks in. We're starting to see our second episodes of some shows. I wouldn't say there's a lot of great stuff in the spring season, but there is a lot of it. I haven't watched Sing Me. There's a drama yesterday, Sing Me Yesterday, that I haven't watched yet. There's a couple other shows. The shows that haven't come out yet. But I can just be like, Glipnir, no thanks. Not really doing it for me. I'm not going to watch it. Sing Yesterday to me. Thank you. It's good. I'm sure it is. But there's too much good anime coming out on Friday and Saturday. Because as it is, Friday and Saturday, okay, so what are my Friday, Saturday anime shows that I'm going to talk about, right? My Friday, Saturday anime right now are Listeners, Gal and Dino, Next Life is a Villainous, All Routes Lead to Doom, Ascendance of a Bookworm, and then we still those are shows that have already come out. We still also have Apera. I can't remember how it's called, but it's the cross country U.S. race with the samurai and cool machines. That's coming, and also Love is War is coming, and which is a Friday Saturday, and another Friday Saturday is um, Food Wars, which I'm less interested in Food Wars only because I think the show wrapped up really well, and I kind of don't care about a new season. If Megumi's in the first episode, I'll definitely like okay, but like I might wait on it because I liked how Food Wars ended, and it kind of could have ended there and been fine. Like he's the top ranked person, she's running the school, everything's okay. Maybe I don't need another season of that. I don't know. Gal and Dino. So tomorrow, the first episode of Gal and Dino will be available for anyone with ads on Funimation. Right now, you have to be a premium member to watch it, but tomorrow it'll become free for everybody. Please watch Gal and Dino tomorrow if you don't have Funimation. Watch it with the ads. Just watch this weird show, please. I don't think Gal and Dino is the best show of the season, but it is the weirdest show of the season, and I can't wait to watch more of it because it is very good and weird, and I am into it. Again, as I said, I'll get into the shows that I watched, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday shows I watch, which are I still had 5 shows, which is good. 5 shows is good. I don't think I'm going to add any more. I might. Uh, I've been in a Super Sentai hole. I need to check out some newer anime. I mean, look, Sentai is a great place to be. You've been in a good place. I will say this, that I am a broken record about this. There was an incredible show last season and then a very good show last season. Winter 2020 was a rough season for anime. There was a bunch of fine. Like Black Clover episodes were fine. That show continues to be good. That was fine. The season of started off weak but got better and better of My Hero Academia. Fine. The ongoings were good enough. One Piece stuff. I haven't been actively tracking One Piece, but I do know that like a thing people really wanted to see Sanji do, he did, and that's fun. So people are psyched about that. Um, but as far as new anime that came out in winter 2020, um, it wasn't good. Um, Keep Your Hands Off Isaacin was the best show. It is still the best show of the year. And, like, despite it being a weak season of anime, that show kicked ass and was really fucking good. And then Buffery was good. It was very good. It's not incredible. Buffery is another like MMORPG video game, VR game, anime, but it is basically it has a lot in common with slice of life and feel good anime. Then and there's action and all that, but mostly it's about like a girl playing an MMO in a very weird way, uh, and the friends she makes along the way, and her friend that comes in with her, and people just trying to play the game their way and having a good time. It is silly and fun, and a good version of like the the trope of like overpowered main character. Like you don't mind, like no one really minds how overpowered she is. It's fun. But those are the 2 shows that are like the standouts from last season, in my opinion. Uh, um, because there was well, the caveat to that being maybe if I'm going to add another caveat to that, uh, is that the second half of Welcome to Demon School Irma-kun. Welcome to Demon School Irma-kun was very fun. Second half, it's a slog, unfortunately. Should have been condensed. It maybe shouldn't have been a double season, but it's still good and worth watching. All right, now we're going to work on legs. We finished our waist. It's time to work on legs. Based on its name, says BZ, Gal and Dino is anime version of Tammy and the T-Rex. So, some of the people behind the production of Pop Team Epic made it Gowan Dino. It's based on a manga, and it is weird. There's some computer generated, uh, but made to look like claymation shorts. There's some stories. The art changes kind of sporadically. The dinosaur looks more like Grimace than he does a dinosaur. Um, and it is weird. I think I've been told I may have oversold it after the first episode. Uh, but it is a wonderfully weird show that I am very glad exists. I'm very happy it exists, and I think it is very fun. And as I said, weird as hell. I again will not spoil the second half of the first episode, but it may at first you're just like, oh, this is a weird choice, and then that weird choice keeps going and just gets weirder. Hey, what's up, Dirty? Welcome, 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 welcome. Happy to have you here. We finished our waist here, and now it's leg day, so let's get some legs built. Starting off with the feet, as you do, um, and we'll just try to do these, as we go. Assemble some leg units. Put some stuff together. I want to see where it goes. It's definitely weird in a great way. Yeah, Ig. Like I'm interested to see how it continues on and where it goes. I think I'm going to say that about a couple of the shows that I'll be talking about in the second hour. A couple shows that I watched, I was like, huh, how are you going to sustain this? I'll be interested to see how they do it, if they can, where it goes. Um, I'm all about the strange, so I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, it's got like it cares about its plot, even if it is a nonsense weird thing. Like, so it's not like Pop Team Epic in that Pop Team Epic is just like a loose framework and then whatever the fuck. Like, it does have some idea. It seems to anyway have an idea of what it wants to do and then is going to do it. Um, but it does feel very strange in a way that I am interested in continuing in seeing where it goes. Um, right now, I mean, I'm going to be adding 3 more shows. Right now, I got a lot of fucking anime to watch. Uh, and it's also strange that my Sunday Monday right now uh, is really weird because the Sunday Monday is like the odd one, uh, uh, because it's VR game anime or not VR game. Sorry, it's uh, like anime based on mobile games because there's President's Time for Battle, Project Zero Chronicle, and Princess Connect, and they're all like adventure series based on mobile games, which I guess is the new hotness. One's a strategy game at least, which got interesting. Um, because that's also that Alchemist and Bungo is also based on a video game. So this season is very much like, well, it's a popular video game, so let's make an anime based on it. Uh, I missed you on Saturday. Did you see My Life is Villainous? Hell yeah, I did. So yeah, My Life is a Villainous is really fun. It is. It sets itself up really well as like in the first episode, explaining the premise and then getting into it, which is the number one issue I have with most isekai. Is and we'll talk about an isekai that the more traditional isekai that's out this season in the second hour because I watched that. The episode came out today. Um, is that a lot of my problems with modern isekai is that um, they set up the premise and then they spend a bunch of time uh, like barely dealing with it, and then suddenly it's go go go, and the pacing is bad. Whereas this one was just like, Okay, this is what's happening. I've now figured things out. Okay, now how do I solve this? Problem solving. It's also funnier than I thought it would be, and I appreciate that. It seems pretty charming and pretty fun. Um, which is also, like, it doesn't have to be, but I like that. It seems like it's not going to fuck around. Yeah, I think like the thing that I think is interesting is that it is aware that just having the knowledge of what happens in the video game doesn't mean you could just fix it in 1 minute. Like, oh, being to just saying, well, one of the reasons that my adoptive brother turns out the way he does is because I was mean to him. And he felt alone and isolated, so he became a womanizer. And then he met the main character of the video game. Okay, well, I won't make sure that he's alone. I'll make sure that he's like grows up and is a good guy and he's around people, and then he's won't it won't be that strange that he meets someone nice because he'll have nice people in his life. Like, that's the solution, right? Well, in trying to, like, it's not that simple. And I think that's going to be like the where a lot of what happens in the show is dealing with the fact that life isn't that simple and things aren't that easy. And I think that's pretty cool. I will be interested to see like where it goes, and like as she starts to get away from the realities of the game, if those realities start forcing themselves in there or new complications come out because, like, well, maybe by her being this version of herself, she'll like the prince who's actually sadistic, like she'll push him to actually reveal himself to be the sadistic person he is. Or maybe he won't be that sadistic character because of who she grows into becoming, because she's different than the princess or than the villainess. So it's interesting to see that. I like that. Um, Instead of, oh, I'm now inside the video game that I used to play, this is playing a story based game. Oh, I'm now in the story based game that I used to play. Like, that's a different thing and a different vibe. So I'm interested in seeing like what that means and where it goes. Because it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely like a different thing than your traditional isekai. Like there's something else going on. I like that. I like that too. It's nice there's a pushback to the MC's knowledge. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. And then the internal monologue stuff was fun and like a nice little thing. I think to see them going back to that, that's kind of fun. Uh, yeah, it's just a different take on it. Like, we're getting our different takes. We're in that procession. We have a second season of Ascendance of a Bookworm, even though they just named it episode 15 or whatever, and they're just continuing the show. They just basically, instead of the second season, they just took a break after the first season before they put the second one out, and that's fine. It is just weird because they were a lot of places are calling it season 2, and then it's just like, well, I can't. Oh, I have to look in season 1. All right, well, sure, okay. Right. So we're working on our feet here. Get these connected, and then get that connected to this. And again, we'll figure it out on this one, and then easily do it with the second one, because that's how these work. But yeah, I mean, there's good shows this season, and there's like I said, there's some stuff that like it could turn out to be good. I'm just not interested in. Like, Glipner is like the early easy case of me just being like, this does not appeal to me. I am not interested in that. I don't want to see if the Crunchyroll has a game based on like there's Shadowverse, which is like a card playing game that doesn't really anything that I'm like, yeah, this looks great. Like, that's not hitting me. Like, Nah, I think I'm okay. Um, Dirty says, I want to see another manga like this made in an anime, but the difference is the two isekai. One person in the position of a random mob character, and the other is the MC of the game. Was that the card game from the PS4 launch? Let me look up. Hold on, everybody cool the fuck out. I gotta look up the name of this thing. Came out on Tuesday. It's called Shadowverse. I believe it is based on the card game Shadowverse. I'm gonna guess, unless they just named their card battling anime Shadowverse. I assume it is based on the card game. Uh, that is available on lots of platforms. I'm gonna assume. Uh, but yeah, that doesn't like hold any interest to me. You know what I mean? Like, did I like Yu-Gi-Oh? Yes, but also is Yu-Gi-Oh the only card battling anime I've ever liked? Also, yes. Maybe I've never run into another one that was as good, or just at the time I happened to like it, and it was just an odd occurrence that I found myself really enjoying a card battle anime. But that's the only one I've ever liked. So I don't know what to do. What else to say about that. Uh, and I'm looking at Funimation's lineup and see if there's like I never finished No Guns Life, so I'm not gonna watch the sequel. I can't see myself doing that. Oh yeah, Apare Ranman is the anime coming out on Friday that I'm very interested in checking out. I watched a little bit of the preview because they put out like the first episode out. Uh, and then, so I'm going to say this. I talked about this on Monday a little bit. Uh, this is such a weird thing that happened. The anime Shiria Neko Project Zero Chronicle. So Shiria Neko Project has a plot. Every source has put in the description of the anime to be the video game description, including Funimation. But the anime is a prequel to the video game. So I don't know, like, so people are just putting the wrong information out there. Like the plot that Funimation put up is like also what AnyChart put or everybody put up, which is a young hero and three others embark on a floating island, but plans change after one of the adventurers becomes corrupted by darkness. That's not that's the video game plot, not the anime plot, I think. But at the very least, that's definitely not the first like episode. I don't know. It's weird. Oh yeah, Arte is not a thing that I have any interest in watching. I've heard people like it. Wave, listen to me. Not interested. I've heard people like that first episode. Tamayomi. I have watched so little. Like I've enjoyed some sports anime, but it's not my thing. Eye of Judgment. I think that was PS3 Solve. I think that was a PS3 card game. Um, all right, so we did some of our pieces here. We're gonna do the same thing on the other part, building our thing. Yeah, it's weird that the description comes in. Wasn't I a Judge in PS3? I think it was. I think Solve. Yeah, I think that was the PlayStation 3. Anyway, there's some good anime out there, and it means that I don't have to watch anime that doesn't interest me. I don't even want to say bad anime, because like, uh, I haven't watched anything so far that. It's not true. I've watched a couple things so far that I'm like, this isn't really for me. This doesn't really interest me. But I can understand why other people would be like, this is my jam. Oh, good, my show came out. Like, uh, what was? I don't think my romantic comedy snafu or whatever. It's a Hachimen, the Hachimen series. Uh, I don't think that's a good show, but I know some people fucking love that shit, and I'm happy for them that they get another season of that show. That show is back again, but I think that that dude sucks shit, and I don't want him to get to be happy. Uh, and I think that like, and I don't care. I off watching the first season, I was like, kind of don't care about either of these girls. Certainly don't care about the new girl that comes in to shake things up. Definitely don't care about her. Definitely don't want Hachiman to like figure his shit out. Oh no, I don't like anybody in this show. And I think I'm supposed to. I'm out. And then I was out. And I was happier for being out. Your mileage may vary. Um, like, when I talk about the stuff that I like in the shows that I'm watching, like, I understand that they're not for everyone. Well, I'm watching isekai that, some people are just like, isekai, no thanks, and they're just done and they don't want. I walked in another room and I thought you were talking about Tiger Cake. No, Mr. Bob, I'm talking about some anime that I don't like. I mean, Tiger King is a television show full of people that you're. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to. No, that's not true. The producers want you to love to dislike everyone in that show. Whereas my romantic comedy, my teen comedy, snafu or whatever it's called, they want you to like them or learn to love them, I guess. Dirty wants me to hit this gong, so here's a gong. One more again. There's that gong. We gonged. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, like that's just where I'm at when it comes to shows. It's like like not everything's for everybody. Like I say this constantly. I'm going to talk about Black Clover. There's this week's episode of Black Clover. I'm looking forward to talking to you about it. I understand that you may never watch that show. You may have watched the first episode when it debuted and said, "This dude yells too much. I'm out," and I get that. Uh, as I said, I like Sachibato and Princess Connect are video game based on video games fantasy world anime that they're not isekais, but they're like harem inspired fantasy, or like they're isekai inspired overpowered main characters, probably fantasy shows. Like I get those are not, people might not be into that. And then Shiro Neko just seems like kind of generic fantasy sad boy stuff, but I liked it. Uh, I mean, I might be done with listeners. I'm giving listeners episode 2, but there's so many shows that are coming out on Friday and Sunday or Saturday that either I'm gonna move a show that comes out on Saturday to Sunday, and so I can talk about it on Monday and like postpone talking. I think I might pick a show to wait on. It might be like Love Is War or something like that. It depends on when on Saturday they come out because there's just more shows I want to watch. But most likely, listeners didn't really grab me after one episode, but it's mecha, so I have to give it 2 episodes. Like I gotta give it a little bit of time to breathe, even though it didn't really do anything for me, because it's mechas. I want to see that. But dang, there's just like a lot of fucking anime out right now, which is great. And we'll find out the ones we like and the ones we don't. I mean, I watched. Let's see. I watched the second episodes of 2 new shows. I watched episode 1 of a brand new show, and the first 2 episodes of a show that I didn't watch last week. that I really liked. Uh, I will say that we'll get into it. I'm slightly disappointed in one of the shows, and I'm pleasantly surprised by another, and so that's nice. But yeah, we'll get there in a couple minutes because we're going to take a pause for the cause in a minute or two, and I'll talk about ways you can support the stream if you're so inclined, and then we'll get back into building and we'll talk about anime and various other things. I'm sure. Uh, yeah, today I prepped for the stream. I shot a video that I put out that I'm going to be putting out next Wednesday. I did a bunch of email stuff. Try to keep up with some other things that are going on with me, and just try to do that kind of thing. Nothing major to report today. I took a person on a FaceTime virtual tour of my apartment because I would like them to move in, and they are going to get back to me because they didn't want to come see the apartment because yeah, they shouldn't. So we did the virtual tour, and I tried to do my best to sell it the best I can. And it's a weird way to show an apartment. It was a lot of like me putting my hand next to the thing for scale, which is not great. That's not necessarily the best way to do that, but it was like, it's like this big and like that big. Like, oh, you can see my hand next to it, and I got big clubbing hands. So there you go. Okay. I'll get the measuring tape out if you want me to measure this for you. No? Okay. It was very weird. Um, so here's a product of the times that may interest you, and you may also find morbid and weird. Uh, my mom often sends me a an Easter card, which is she is still very much a Catholic lady, and so she sent me an Easter card. I always appreciate that. It's nice to get cards in the mail. Nice to get something. But she was like, "I'm sending you a package," and I was like, "Oh, cool." It's kind of weird since I've been working from home, but I've got a 4-day weekend. I'm off Good Friday and Easter Monday. Oh, nice. Yeah, Harold, enjoy that 4-day weekend. I mean, that makes sense. You still work in a school, so enjoy it. Uh, yeah, so my mom was like, "Oh, I'll send you something for Easter," and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to send you a package," and I was like, "Oh, I wonder what that's going to be. Maybe it'll be like perishable goods or something, or like I don't know. I don't know what I didn't know what it was going to be. Like a basket. I don't know. Flowers. I don't know. I don't know what my mom was going to get me. I did not predict that it would be masks. Masks that my dad had left over from when he was a house painter years ago that are still working fine and were in a box and unopened, but they are the masks that have the respirator part of it. Not a full respirator, but the little attachment there that's built in. So I got those in the mail, which is incredibly thoughtful of her, but also like, oh, okay, well, good. When I go out, I'll put that on. I have a makeshift cloth mask that I've been using, uh, but it's nice to have the real thing. And then I just put a bandana over it to kind of keep it in place, and to kind of keep everything tight on me. It's obviously not obviously, but um, I think it's the responsible thing to do to wear a mask when you're outside. Best practices, to just make it a thing. Last night I took the trash out last night. Put on my mask covering and all that. The cloth mask that I had made just to take the trash out because guess what? Other people are out doing their thing, and a dude was across the street bringing his trash out, and I don't know him. I mean, we're neighbors, but I don't know him. It's a big neighborhood or whatever. But we made eye contact and did the nod, and it was just like, yeah, all right, okay, whatever we gotta do, we're gonna figure this shit out. But yeah, happy Easter, Xbox. I got myself some masks. Oof. I brought down two to my neighbor or my landlord. Even though I'm congrats, I completely procrastinated on trying to hand sew my own face mask today. I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world. I modified a bandana into a mask. I didn't have good elastic for it, so I not painstakingly, but I grabbed an old shoelace, cut it, and then tied it as best I could, and then just and made it so that the laces are adjustable, so I can adjust it to fit my face better. Um, but as you may know, I have a lot of bandanas. Uh, Guess I'm gonna go with a bandana coffee filter combo when I go to work tomorrow. Yeah, do what you need. My wife finished sewing up a dozen cloth masks today. We send some to family. That's good, Aristophan. Folks ask us now and again, and there's a few people in chat who maybe haven't been here and haven't heard it. So I wear a bandana a lot because I shave my hair down. I just did it recently. Um, uh, and it's shiny because I just shaved it, and also because I'm not outside that often. So I wear a bandana because sweat and all that, and to protect from sunburn. Um, so I have a lot of it. I bought 14 of these on Amazon a couple years ago, so I have a lot of them. So it was okay to donate one to Mass Time that I could wash easily. Um, People use anything on hand to make masks nowadays. Yeah, you do what you need to. Uh, so, Solf, a lot of it is that like you are. Some of it is appearances. Some of it is like uh, amongst ladies' underwear. Yeah, I mean a thong isn't. Wearing ladies' underwear is not what it is. Yeah, so some of it is obviously like, well, I'm doing this uh, because it says that I'm taking things seriously. Uh, your best life is a gunpla maker, like your gang leader. Yeah, like a lot of it is just like, oh, hey, even if it is performative, it's letting people know, like, hey, I'm taking this seriously. Hey, guess what? Wearing a face cover is a great way to let people know, don't get it within 6 fucking feet of me. I'm wearing this mask because I'm taking this seriously. I don't care if you're not taking this seriously. I am. Back up. So that's nice. You get that at least. It does send the message, hey, jogger, get the fuck out of get run in the street. Stop weaving between people, asshole. I don't have a problem with you getting exercise. I get it. I understand it. I appreciate it. But get out of here. Don't forget wrestling referee. Yeah. Like, yeah, so I've been doing now I have a new mask, but I'm still going to wear I'm just going to put a bandana over it to kind of keep things in place. Oh, also, folks wearing masks. Here's a pro tip from Pat Baer. I've talked about this, but I'll mention it again. If you are running into issues, if you are a glasses wearer like I am, and you had your glasses fogging up because of the mask, what you want to do, if you have a mask that can pinch around your nose, that's going to help. But one thing you can do, if you are going to put a mask on, you're covering your face like this, is you take a little bit of the top of the mask, you're going to take your glasses up or off, put a little bit of tape there. You can use whatever tape you got. Packing tape might do it. It's going to irritate your skin. It's not great. I've been using gaff tape because that is a thing that I have a decent amount of. But putting the tape there just kind of it makes a bit of it more of a seal. And so that hot air is going to go, your mouth air is going to go out other places and not fog up your glasses, which is helpful. If you are like me, really just get very put out by that. I just don't go out because I don't want to take away from local hospital mask supply. I totally agree with you, Soft. These masks were a gift. They've been sitting in my dad's closet since he retired, and I am happy to have them. Uh, but yeah, for my own mental health, I have been, you know, even if I'm sitting on my stoop now, I'm still going to put on. Still been putting on a homemade mask or something to that effect, even if I'm just sitting on my stoop because the just having a little bit of sunshine. Of course, it rained today. That didn't help, but having a little bit of time outside has just been good for my mental well-being. And there are people out there that can't work from home, or in my case, underwork from home. That I do have to go out and about, and I do feel for them. And then if I can help them in any way, that's great. It's really sad as my friend's hackerspace is cranking out medical grade masks with their 3D printer array and giving them to community. Oh, really rad. I read that as sad, and I was like reading it. I'm like, this seems awesome. Hell yeah. That rules. Yeah, people got to look out. Like I said, making the non-medical grade masks, sending out to family. My friend Kate Nix, who is a costumer and musician, who many people might know from her work with her husband, Ophidian the Cobra. Kate is a fantastic, prolific performer on her own, but also does a lot of wrestling gear, and they've been making masks and sending them out to family and all that, and that's been awesome. They have a tutorial on that if you have a sewing machine. Uh, and so without a sewing machine, I did the bandana method, which worked out pretty good while I was doing it, and now I don't need it, which is also good. I'm happy I don't need it. All right. But yeah, also stay home if you can. Keep minimal contact with people. So I didn't talk about it last night. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it. We'll take a pause for the cause, and we'll talk about anime, and then I will probably also talk about it. But I'll just say it right now. Uh, I bought a bunch of Dominoes on Tuesday, and I did my Dominoes order on Tuesday, and I ate a lot of Dominoes on Tuesday, and it was good. I got a medium two topping, and I got uh, a cheesy bread, and it was good. And I went to pick it up, and texted them, said my name. They opened the door, they put the food down. While I was waiting, a dude came up, tried to open the door, then read the sign and was like, "Are you open?" He was yelling, "Are you open?" And then the woman was pointing at the sign that says "Call the number," and he's looking at the sign, and I was like, I'm there in my mask, and my homemade mask, and covered up, and I'm trying to stay away from this dude because my food is going to come out. So I would love him to stand aside, and he is very unhappy that he can't talk to a person because he's like, well, you're there. Just how much is a pizza? And I'm like, what is happening right now? Because he's complaining that the other pizza place down the street is charging too much for pizza. And it's like, well, then don't eat pizza, dude. I don't know what the fuck is happening. He was making me anxious. And then she finally just goes, I please call. I don't want to talk to you through a door. And then he was like, and walked away. And then my food came. And I was just like, great, I'm out. One of my uncles down in San Antonio is happy about leaving my granddad's still up and running after past a decade ago. Basically making hand sanitizer grade alcohol right now. Great! Still, the granddad's still up and running. Nice, yeah. Craving Domino's from Japan. Look, it was good. I saved some of the bread for the next day. I didn't eat all of it. I did eat all of the pizza. Got my bacon and onion. The onion absorbs the bacon grease, and it's great. Thin crust, party sliced. Happy, happy, happy. Just full and feeling awful. What is the tip situation like with pizza during these times? So I haven't done delivery. I just did pickup. I did tip. Um, and I think I tipped like 30%, I would say. Uh, and I normally don't pick. I normally don't tip takeout, pickup. But they're working. Uh, but yeah, I haven't done delivery because I would have to wait outside for it because I don't have a working bell. So they have to call. So normally I just sit outside when someone's coming to deliver food, and that feels very weird. And I also try to cook, to save money, but also because I'm buying groceries, I want to use those groceries. So, but this was just like, you know what? I want to eat bad Domino's. I almost did it on Sunday for WrestleMania and then didn't. We're going to take a pause for the cause. We'll get back to building. We just had a new follower from Pac-Man Fever. Thank you for following Pac-Man Fever. We're going to do a pause for the cause. This is a brief moment where I talk about ways you can support the stream if you're so inclined. Then we're going to come back to building. We're going to keep working on our legs. We're going to talk about anime. It's going to be a whole thing. But first and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote. If you're new to the stream, I'm just going to talk about a few things very briefly, then we'll get back to building. It's going to be a whole thing. Enjoy this brief moment. But yeah, if you're a subscriber, you can throw that in there. Thank you very much, Saul. Appreciate that. Nick and everybody else. Thank you to everyone that's subscribing. Using your Twitch Prime coin, because you linked your Amazon with Twitch, that's a great way to support the stream. There are other ways to support the stream that you could do if you didn't want to become a subscriber using Cash Money or your token. And we're going to talk about ways you can support the stream if you'd like. Important to say, you're under no obligation to do any of this. This is all optional, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for your continued support. Even if you're just watching, even if this is your first time, your last time, thank you for being here. We're going to get through this pretty quickly, and then we're going to get back to building. I have a Patreon, and you could join that Patreon if you wanted. You could do that instead of being a Twitch subscriber. Also, you can gift a sub. You can jump on that leaderboard. Right now, our leaderboard is pretty empty for the month of April. We got only one cheerer, and we only got one. We got no gifts, so you can jump to the top of the leaderboard and be a cool person that does that. You don't have to, but you can. I have a Patreon, as I said, $1, $3, $5, $10 tiers. They're different tiers. Take a look at it. We unlocked Monday streams when I hit $150 last year. Monday streams will continue even though I have dropped below $150 because I understand and I fucking get it. So, yeah. But, it is what it is and I understand it. Donations. Model kits are not inexpensive. They also are not a thing I can just go out and get easily. So, your donations help out a lot. So if you're like, one time, I could do one time, but I can't do a monthly thing here and there. I've got Coffee, I've got Streamlabs, I've got PayPal. Those are all ways. Anything I collect during the time that I am streaming goes to buying kits and equipment. So that's an easy way to support the stream if you'd like to do that. And I will buy them myself. I will pick things up. I am in New York, which means that Amazon, like a lot of times I can get stuff from Amazon pretty quickly and pretty conveniently, which is nice. I've got some kits waiting for me, but others, are coming. Anthony, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. We're doing a pause for the calls right now. We're going to get back to building really soon, but right now we're just taking a brief moment to talk about ways you can support the stream if you wanted to, but you don't have to. I have an Amazon wish list. I understand if you don't want to use Amazon right now. I fucking get it. But if you'd like to use Amazon, you're more than welcome to buy something there. Get something that has Prime. It'll take longer, but it will come to me, and you can leave a note. The person that bought, I do not know who bought the Grand Chip Collection, the Thousand Sunny Flying Mode from Stampede. Somebody bought that for me. There was no note, and I do not know who bought it, but I'm grateful to have it, and I'll be building that once the Freedom Gundam is done. That's the next thing on the list. Do I have an Amazon? Yes. So right above me, BZ, that is my Amazon wish list for Gunpla and Lego, and other stuff that isn't necessarily Gundams. Like there's some papercraft in there. There is probably at least one other of the One Piece, the Bandai One Piece assembly kits. But yeah. Yes, well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you, Anthony. Welcome. We're taking a brief pause here. I do this once a stream, like halfway through the stream. I just kind of like take a break so that way I'm not promoting myself consistently throughout the whole stream. I just try to do it in one swoop halfway through. Just kind of fell into doing that. USA Gundam Store. If you were like, Pat, I would buy you a gift card so you could buy Gunpla, but I don't want to do Amazon. I get it. USA Gundam Store, apparently, they are still shipping things. As of today, they are still shipping things. So you could buy a gift card for them. I can't do a wish list thing with them, but you get a gift card, and you could send me the code through a whisper on Twitch or my DMs on Twitter, and send me an electronic gift card to that. That's an option. You don't have to. What you should do is, what everyone 100% should do, because it's free, is join my Discord. You can join my Discord, and I post photos of every build I do, which is fun. People jump in and post stuff they're working on. People promote themselves. There's a general chat that is pretty general. That's my Discord. It's chill. Are there two pictures of rice, or what is this blasphemy? I mean, you do what you gotta do. People got stuff going on, and they gotta put up photos. No, you can see over here we got the Freedom Gundam 2.0. That is the kit that we're working on right now. So I always put photos up of the kit, so you can kind of get a reference. You're like, oh look, that thing's gonna have wings on it. That thing's gonna have some big wings with some big rockets coming out. All right. Real quick, I'm going to post a couple links to things that videos I made that you can check out later. Just open them up in a new tab. Watch them later. Pat Baer's Anime Club. I talked about OVAs. I will have a new Pat Baer's Anime Club up on Monday. This is the last one I did. I do it every 2 weeks. This one's talking about bad and good OVAs. And then I have Baering the List. I put up a new list yesterday. I do a new list every Wednesday. I rank things with Tier Maker. And this Tier Maker ranking is on dog breeds. And it gets pretty controversial. It's silly. It's a gag one. Every once in a while I do one that's a little cheeky compared to the other ones I do. And this one's pretty light and pretty fun. Anyway, let's get back to building. And let's talk about anime that came out since Monday. It's the new season. We got a debut of a new show, second episodes of a couple shows, and I didn't watch. The last show we'll talk about today is one that I didn't watch the first episode last week because it didn't sound like something I wanted to watch. Turns out it is something I wanted to watch. Weird. But we'll start with Black Clover. Black Clover. We are prepping for a time skip, I guess. I think we're prepping for a time skip. Now, this anime handled their tournament arc pretty damn well because it was very short. So I'm interested to see what this arc is going to, if it's going to be a time skip. If we're going to just see a bunch of episodes of them getting stronger. It basically ended with Yami being like, okay, you've got 6 months to get stronger. Everybody do whatever they want to do and just get into better fighting form. Which is interesting. I don't know what it's going to turn out to be. We met the queen of the Heart Kingdom, um, which she's a big goof dork nerd. Uh, she's got swirly glasses. You know those glasses that aren't real, but when you see them, they have like the circles on them to denote that this character is a real dork. She's got those. She's the queen of this kingdom and super powerful, but also a big dork. Uh, so that's a thing we learned. I don't know. She's kind of endearing, and it is a very weird choice in this fantasy uh, shonen to be like a show that has very capable, very intense and interesting, strong, like cool ladies that I'm generally like always like. I think the ladies in Black Clover are particularly fucking rad and awesome for that. At some point, she'll take off the bubble and JoJo bubbles will happen. Yeah, I mean, she's tripped and fallen. Like she fell wearing her dress like twice. Like it's they literally said because she's cursed. Oh yeah, she's cursed. So she's like, we would love it if you helped us fought the Spade Kingdom because they are being controlled by a devil. That devil cursed me. I'll be dead in a year. Uh, and at one point, Asta's like, "Oh, is that why you fall all the time? Because you got cursed?" And it's just like, "Nope, that's just me." And it was like, "Okay, okay, gay. All right, okay." We still don't know who the cursed person is. You could assume it would be Henry. Um, we don't necessarily think that it is, but somebody in that crew is cursed. Uh, and it'll be interesting to see what happens as everyone powers up. And I guess next week we're getting an episode where it's like, oh, the captains are gonna hang out and figure out what's going on. I don't know. Um, yeah, like I said, this show handled the fighting tournament arc. They took care of it pretty quickly, and it was entertaining at least and interesting. So I have pretty high hopes that they'll be able to do something cool with this time skip. I don't know. I also think Black Clover, the anime, might be catching up with the manga, and that's never good. So that either means taking an extended break, which go for it, please, or filler arc, which, oh no, maybe don't. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. Um, I'm not sure what we're gonna get, but you know, I like that show. It is a fun shonen, and it's the only shonen right now, right? Yeah, because My Hero is on hiatus now. Um, oh, I guess One Piece. One Piece is still happening, so it's not the only shonen, but it's one of the only shonen. And Boruto, but I don't pay attention to Boruto. Uh, there have been times where I've jumped into Boruto. Did Naruto handle that by putting out movies and filler? Yeah, dirty. So Naruto did that with filler. Most shonen do that. Most shonen either end the show and then maybe come back with more of it, or they do filler arcs. Uh, One Piece has that. Like it is pretty commonplace to just have a filler thing. Um, My Hero does seasons, which is actually kind of unique and good. Good. I'm happy about that. Um, like I'm glad we don't see that. Their OVAs are their filler, basically. Because also, filler can be good. It can be interesting. It can be like cool character stuff and fun backstory. But because it wasn't part of the original, it they don't those like if you introduce a character, they don't show up. If you and also like it's never referenced, and it probably isn't going to be ever brought up again because it isn't part of, it is outside the media of it. Uh, so that, sometimes it can be good, but most of the time it's pretty bad. I'm looking at you, bleach filler. Yikes. And Yu Hakusho filler. Yikes. Uh, okay, so that was that. New shit. Came out on Wednesday. Let's talk about a bad name for an anime, but a pretty fun show. It is the fishing themed slice of life series, Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater. The Breakwater Club is the name of a fishing club. We have our main character, Haru. She is she used to live in the big city, but she would summer as a child with her grandpa in this coastal or water town, kind of country town. Well, now she's moved there and she's going to high school there, and she's excited. Like, she's kind of afraid of fish and doesn't really like the water too much, but she's going to make the best of it. And she's a crafter. That's her deal. She likes crafting. She's good at it. She enjoys it. So she's going to join the crafting club, the after school crafting club. And she's excited to make high school friends and do that. Well, circumstances happen, and she is, how do I put this? She is coerced and or tricked, depending on your definition, into joining the Breakwater Club, which is the fishing club. And it's not super well known or super popular club. They need members, which is why she's being coerced into joining. And this is the thing that will turn off people that mostly, if you are someone who mostly watches slice of life. If slice of life is your genre that you most commonly watch, you will see this and be like, well, let her fucking what she got tricked. That's not fair. This main character tricked her into joining because they need members. Let her join the crafting club. Why isn't this an anime about a girl joining a crafting club? Because slice of life often doesn't have a reluctant main character. You know what it reminds me of? In this one instance, it reminds me more of sports anime, because that is often a hallmark of sports anime, is Eye Shield 21. The guy does want to join the football team, but he is being forced to pretend that to keep his identity a secret. There are a plethora of sports anime where it's I got forced to join this. Yomishi Pedal, he wants to get members for the anime club. He doesn't want to join the biking club. Now, it turns out that he loves cycling and he loves the people in it and he has a great time and he's good at it. So you kind of forget that he was basically forced into joining and shouldn't have been there in the first place. You kind of forget that with that show because it's well done and a fun time. And that's kind of like martial arts anime, a lot of time, kind of like people getting forced into a thing. There's the action show that I talked about that came out, the President one. Shachibato, President, It's Time for Battle. The whole premise of that is it's this dude inheriting his father's business, and he does not want to do that shit. And the first episode is a lot of him being like, I haven't decided if I'm going to do this or not. And them going ahead like he has decided that. But that's rare for a slice of life. So it starts off kind of weird. We find out that Hina's childhood friend for when she would visit her grandfather is in the club. She is a kind of tom girl, fang girl. One of the characters has a single fang and is very emotional and fun and high energy. She's the fangirl. It's been a little while. It's been a hot minute since we had one of those in a show, so that's kind of fun. Um, and then there's the the character who's a second year, who's kind of like her attribute right now is she's big and quiet, but she dresses like a pro fisherman, uh, and that is kind of fun. And I was already like, I am interested in this character. This character seems neat. I like the kind of strong, quiet, supportive type. And yeah, they're getting two new members. One of which who doesn't really want to join because she's afraid of stuff, and they're kind of freaking her out. And it, like I said, it's a weird vibe. It is an odd vibe for a slice of life, and I think like she'll get over it pretty quickly, and possibly her being great at crafts or knowledgeable at crafts will come in handy, and she'll be an asset, and she'll learn how fun it is to fish and be people. And like hell, I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that the handcraft club is full of assholes, and it's a good thing she joined this club because the handcrafting club was not for her. Turns out, I would not be surprised if we get that because that is this type of anime. But for a slice of life, it starts off like kind of weirdly aggressive about it. Egg. Welcome, Egg. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. We got a bunch of new follows tonight. That's very fun. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me as I build and talk about anime and various other things. But like, After School Dice Club was them discovering, because one of their friends worked at a game shop, that tabletop games, this is pretty cool. Let's make that our club. That this is what we do is we play tabletop games, and one of us is working on designing one. And okay, like that one is a very easy to follow. Like, oh yeah, this is the thing we all want to do. Let's do it. Laid back camp, right? One of the best in the business when it comes to being a cool slice of life. Laid back camp is like camping. I've joined the outdoor club. Would you like to join our club? No, you don't want to join it? Okay. Well, maybe you'll come camping with us one if you want to, but you don't have to. Oh, you want to come camping with us? Great. No conflicts there. Rin doesn't want to join the club. Rin doesn't have to join the club. No one tricks her or forces her into doing it. So it will be interesting to see where, as I said, a bad name. Diary of Our Days at the Breakwater. It's at the Breakwater. It just, why is it not called High School Fishing Club? Just fucking call it High School Fishing Club. It's not a good name. But yeah, it's cute-ish. The art is fun. I'm interested in seeing where it goes. And if it becomes more of a traditional slice of life or not. Okay. Second episode of Tower of God. I don't know if I'm going to keep watching this. Like, people are fucking hyped about this shit, right? It's a webtoon. The very idea of it, like, getting a Japanese animation production. And Crunchyroll is producing it and putting a bunch of money into it. And the art is kind of interesting. I'm kind of interested in the characters. I'm going to give it another week, right? At least another week. But I'm not sure if I'm into it. Not super into it. But like I said, I'm going to give it another week, and we'll see if some of the other characters that we've been introduced, we get a little bit more of them, and maybe that'll do it for me. It took a hard Hunter x Hunter turn. I mean, like, it's the Hunter exam, the anime. Like, I think that's the whole thing. Like, if anything, the first episode giving us like characters talking to one another in non-battle setting feels like the first episode did a bit of a disservice about what the show is going to be. I think. I mean, maybe there are floors that are vastly different, and we're going to keep seeing that. But I don't know. And like I said, the animation kind of doesn't do it for me. Kind of don't like what I'm seeing. I'll be happy to be wrong. Like I said, I'm not done with it, but it didn't stick. I didn't finish this episode going, Oh, hell yeah. Can't wait for next week for the next exciting episode of, like, oh shit, I can't believe I have to wait 7 days for this. Ooh, am I gonna watch the webtoon? Like, like I'm not vibing that way, and I still might. I'm just not vibing that way right now. Uh, so that's yeah. That was slightly disappointing. Tower of God. Today we got the eighth son. Are you kidding me? And just as I was like, oh, those floors, the tower, are huge and small depending on the design layout. It's like the TARDIS. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's it. Look, there's interesting things to have with it. But I just don't know if it's for me. So the Eighth Son. This is episode 2 of the Eighth Son. Episode 1, we meet our character. He's a white collar dude, a working man in Japan. He falls asleep. He wakes up inside of a young boy's body, and he's been isekai'd. He was sleep isekai'd, so he didn't get hit by a truck, but he did wake up in a different body in an alternate reality, where he's lived a life as a young boy. He's like taken over this life. Uh, it is a fantasy world. He is the eighth son of their nobility just in name. Uh, uh, Whatever, you know what I mean. These no their nobility just in name. They don't have any really money. They're a poor noble group, and he is inside of the body. He has taken over the consciousness. His consciousness is now in a child that existed before, and you knew what I meant. And it's fine. So the first episode, he kind of like figures out magic. The episode ends with like a dude being like, "Hey, I can sense that you have the capacity for magic. I will train you to use magic. I would like to have an apprentice." Dot dot dot. And you're like, "Oh, okay." So he does. He learns magic. Now, normally, if the show is about a teen version of a character, their childhood version isn't that long. Knights and Magic. What's another one where he starts as a little kid? Wise Man's Grandchild. Those shows where you start as a young person, they're not a young person for that long. This is also one of those. Spoiler alert, at the end of the episode, he is older. Now, here's the thing about this show that, like, they're going to gloss over because at some points he feels like a 5-year-old. And at some points he feels like a guy that has the memories of that he had when he was older. It's not like that time I got reincarnated as slime where he seems to have all his memories. It seems like sometimes he doesn't have all his memories of his former life, and sometimes he does. Yes, Dirty Knights and Magic jumps ahead a little bit of time. It's not like young kid, adult. Um, but there is a little bit between him waking up and seeing what magic is, and then him like going and starting his adventure. It's not a big time jump. It's not Wise Man's Grandchild time jump or I'm trying to remember if there are other ones. There are a few other ones that do that where you're like in a little kid's body and then you suddenly leap ahead in age. But yeah, that one is pretty soon after. You're right. But there's a little time of like, um, it's not like that time I got reincarnated as slime or other anime where you are isekai'd and you are just in your own body but in another world, like isekai cheat magicians or whatever. So that's kind of interesting. It's kind of an interesting show of like him learning magic. There's already this thing of like, well, you should keep it a secret that you can do magic because people might think that you are trying to jump the succession order ahead of your brother. And he's like, I don't want to do that. He thinks he might become an adventurer. So that's the end of the episode. It's often being an adventurer. He learns magic. The person that trained him to use magic is like, oh, by the way, I'm actually dead, and I've been using my magic to hold out. I'm going to turn into a zombie. Would you mind killing me and purifying me so that I can move on? That was my big regret. Was that didn't have a student, and then I found you. But in teaching you magic, it's made things worse. Hey, can you kill me? And it's a really like him being a 5-year-old instead of being like a 30-something-year-old. It's this weird thing. And it'll probably go away because we're going to see teen him, which is most likely just who he is the whole rest of the show. Because the first episode said, hey, here he is, the lord of this area. He's using his magic to help with agriculture, and um, uh, he's got some ladies that hang out with him, aka it's a shonen, not a shonen, no, but it's an isekai. It's a main character OP isekai. So I do know that this show has some of that. Like, I don't know if it's just flavoring or if it is more of it. The kind of political stuff going on. I have heard that there's more that is not just a typical overpowered main character show isekai. So it'll be interesting to see if that's actually true. But I don't know. I don't dislike it, but I also like isekai, and I like overpowered main characters. So I am like totally up for it. We'll see. And then the show that I watched the first episode last week, didn't watch the first episode last week. We're on episode 2 because I read the plot synopsis and didn't think it was right for me. It turns out it's great, and that is Kakushigoto. Kakushigoto is the story of a single father raising a young lady. She is named Hime, because of course she is. Um, and his day job, is a mystery to her. He has never told her he has never lied. He just hasn't told her what he does for a living, which is that he is a mangaka. But specifically, he writes dirty joke manga. He doesn't write hentai, which is what I thought he did, was like, I don't need another one of these, I don't know, one of those shows. He doesn't do that. He writes like Balls of Fury. He writes like joke manga that are like dumb jokes, and he's successful enough in that respect. But when the doctor recognizes his name uh, in the hospital, he's like, yeah, all right, I don't want my daughter to know this. And we don't know what happened to the mom. We assume, you know, we assume that she's not with us. And the whole story of the show is him finding ways to keep this secret from his daughter. Like, the teacher knows, his coworkers, like, he's trying to like keep them quiet about it, and it's just the stories. He's told her that there are monsters that live in the area where he works, so she won't come to visit him at work. But he also keeps all of the copies of anything they've worked on in the past outside of the facility. He goes so far as to wear a suit when he drops her off at school or on the way to school, and then he goes and leaves his clothes with someone, with a fashion area person, and then changes into just his regular work attire. And it's cute and fun. And I didn't finish the second episode. I'll mention that. I ran out of time because I ended up having a thing pop up before the stream. But I will be watching it before next week, so I can't give you a full report on the second episode. First episode was solid and fun. Also, one of the reasons he's in the area that he is because it's full of fashion peeps, which is the name he uses, which is basically just hipsters. And the idea is that hipsters don't, because he's not fashion forward or whatever, they don't pay attention to him. He can just kind of blend in. and then also they don't have stores that sell manga there. Uh, and that's kind of a fun idea. I like that idea. Um, she's got friends. We're gonna see her a little bit too. She's got some childhood friends. There's a whole little mini detective agency story thing, which is kind of fun. Uh, but yeah, uh, I'm interested in the show. I think it was like cute and fun, and I would like another slice of life, especially since the Breakwater like had a weird start to it. So to give me another slice of life, I'm on board with. I think it could be fun. I'm gonna, try to finish up the that second episode. Uh, but yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's the thing, Ig. I didn't watch last week because I thought it was gonna be, yeah, an Iramaga Sensei thing. Or there's another. There was recently another thing where it was uh, it was a show about a girl whose dad writes like etchy stuff, and it's her like trying to not become a pervert and then accidentally getting into goofy erotic situations. I can't remember the name of it, but that was out like 2 seasons ago. So I thought it was gonna be another one of those, but no, he just writes like dumb joke manga that's meant for adults, like is low, like like low, like I don't know, like yeah, boob joke and butt jokes, dick joke manga. Uh, there is a joke in there where they're like, this is the most popular manga right now, and it's I forget the name of it, but it is definitely supposed to be Attack on Titan. And he's like, okay, I guess I'll write a dark fantasy. And it just gets like he's thinking about writing a fantasy book to make money, but he's like, oh no, but if it's successful, if it's too successful, then there's a chance my daughter will find out that I write manga. It's fun. Um, like those old Snaps books. Yeah, yeah. I think it's just supposed to be like more like if you were like embarrassed to say that you worked on like Ren and Stimpy is brilliant, but like Ren and Stimpy, like just like a weird or like oh no, like yeah, I write. I worked. Like yeah, the first cartoon I ever wrote. Yeah, I wrote Drawn Together. It was a Comedy Central show. It was a reality show cartoon. Don't watch it. Like that kind of thing where you're like, you just like he's embarrassed about it. He doesn't want her to have the stigma of it. Uh, it's probably a little self-loathing, but I think it plays that pretty lightly, and I'm interested in seeing more of it. It had a good vibe to it. Um, you know, but like I think it's just that thing of like he's just embarrassed and he just wants to keep it from her. We didn't really like, haven't really, super really gotten into like what's going on with the mom situation. I'm sure we will get to that, but uh, yeah, it was uh, it was pretty fun. And that is the shows that I've watched this week. Again, I don't think I dropped any. Oh yeah, Glipner or Gliffer or whatever that fucking show is called. I did drop that, but that was over. That was gonna be a weekend show. Uh, and yeah, I think that I'm just looking at Funimation's site again. Yeah, listeners is a show that I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing that, but yeah. I'm excited about Love Is War. I'm excited of Apare Ronman. I'm excited. Yeah, that show. I'm not gonna. I didn't watch today. Today, I think was the debut of The Millionaire Detective. I didn't watch that. That didn't look interesting to me. Arte, I'm not watching. Wave, Listen to Me didn't really seem interesting to me. I'm not watching any of Kingdom. Sakura Wars is back, but it didn't really do anything for me. Bungo and Alchemist, I dropped that after the first episode because I was like, nope. I dropped that halfway through. I don't need to hear about these tainted characters, these taints. Come on. It just seemed bad. It just seems bad. I don't know if there's any show that didn't get picked up that I'm interested in. I'll have to see. Um, I don't think so. I think. Oh, actually, maybe I didn't. You know what? There is one show that that is out that is not picked up anywhere, and I thought that maybe Crunchyroll would get it, and they apparently didn't. And yeah, nobody has uh, nobody has Komada Jinsan, which is it's the grandpa who's like, it's just a short, and he's, or I don't know if it's a short, it's a TV short that's like, it's a 1 minute episode, maybe that's why, but it's a 1 minute episode where he's just like flirts with his wife, and it's just like a cute little fun show. No one picked that up, huh? Weird. I mean, it's like I said, it's a 1 minute. And plus opening or probably closing songs. It's probably a minute and a half. But I thought someone was going to pick up that short. Come on, Chin-san. No one picked that up. Yeah, that's the only one that like I was like, oh, I think that's the only show that nobody has gotten. Or maybe uh, I'm now looking at like episode 1 shows that are coming out that I haven't seen any info on. Oh, I don't care about that one. Negative Strike is now following. Thank you for the follow, Negative Strike. We're just about wrapped up with the stream today. One thing is they're nervous because the officer Lee Bing is appearance of a white cat. I have no idea what this show is. I don't think anybody has it. Yeah, I'm just looking at any chart for anything that I missed, but I think that's it. I do believe that the only show this season that I haven't yeah, is the Jisan, the romantic grandpa uh, short. And I guess nobody picked it up. I'll just have to see what's going on with it. Maybe somebody will pick it up all at once when it's all over. But who knows? Maybe no one will, and it will never, ever appear anywhere. Or I'll watch the fan subs and never say anything about it because I try my best not to talk about fan subs. But, show doesn't get licensed. You can't watch it. I am looking forward to sometime this year, I guess. The fall, perhaps. Watching Dorohedoro legally. But that'll be nice. Can't do that. I haven't been able to do that. Okay, so the next stream is going to be on Saturday. I will have a lot of new anime to talk about on Saturday. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll have something going on with me and I can chat about. Something going on in my life, I'm not sure. But I'll try to find something to chat with you all about on Saturday. But that'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern, as always. Monday after that will be my next stream. Next Wednesday, TBA, to be announced time and guests. I'm doing another stream that will be for Smack Talk Showdown. That was a really good time last month, so we're going to do that again. As I said, I do not know exactly when because I am trying to work with people's schedules. So it may be in the afternoon, it may be in the early evening, it may be very late. I don't know yet. I'm just trying to work with people's schedules, and I'm trying to be open for that. So yeah, next streams, as I said, the next 2 streams will be build streams. When this kit is done, which we're not ready for that, but we're going to get there at some point. When this kit is done, we'll move on to our next kit, which is the Thousand Sunny, the Stampede version. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out. We are going to, right now, I'm going to find a stream for us to raid because we end streams with raiding. And a reminder, when we do hit that stream, if you want to like refresh the page so that you are not no longer like coming because of the raid and like or whatever, that is a thing that I guess is important these days. Um, you don't have to do that, but we can do that. Let's see. We're gonna pick somebody. I'm gonna check out, see who to do that. I never know who to go look at this stuff. Uh, we don't want to watch that. We don't watch that. Okay. I think. Oh yeah. All right. It's spooky time. Uh, we're gonna go raid Mary Kish and Nina Freeman are playing Silent Hill 4. So we're gonna go raid that. So please raid if you'd like. If you don't want to raid, you don't have to. Don't worry about it. But if you'd like to come and check out the stream, that would be rad. Because that's a spooky game, and they're great people. So let's watch some great people freak out watching a spooky game. That sounds rad to me. I don't know if it would be great for you or not, but we're gonna go check out Mary's stream, and again, I'll be back on Saturday. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it very much.